22nd July 2018. Feng Zhu Part 2. Alright, so that is set up in terms of why I'm doing this episode. Let's go back in history and talk about concept design 20 years ago. So when I started out, my first job was on the system. This is a studio, was about 300 to 400 people. I think they had 3 divisions divided into, I believe, 3 to 4 floors. Big building, Austin, Texas, right by Mississippi Bridge. Nowadays, it's been bought out by EA, and I believe the same building is used to make the Star Wars MMO for BioWare. But 20 years ago, this was home of a lot of British who created Ultima, so I was on the same floor as him. Basically, they're doing Ultima Online. And then it's also home of Chris Robert, who is currently, of course, making Star Citizen. But back then, he was the creator of Wing Commander, and it happened to be the last Wing Commander called Wing Commander Prophecy. And then upstairs from us was very small division, my cool game by most of the guys you probably never heard of them, which is I think J Simulation, JANE. They were making some really hardcore fly sim, very niche market, but there is a bunch of military stuff. If you go up there, you feel like you basically walk into a military company because let's see. I don't know. It's going to work, man. I have no idea. Okay. You know where your engine is mounted? Is it the front, the back? How many cylinders? No, I have no idea. I just want to work for them. Because they just sell like a gen book and everything. All sort of stuff I'm researching. But anyway, that's what I started. And when I got the job, I was actually the first person in terms of that studio were officially titled of the concept artist. Prior to that, concept art in video game were quite rare in terms of their official job position. Most studios were just using whoever draw best to do that job. Because prior to this, right, this is 1997, 98, 3D wasn't even around yet.
Now you can see from the school view, you started in 3D. You started in 3D. You started in 3D. You see some school view, you started in 3D. You started in 3D. That's true. You started in 3D.
Barely. You had like Tomb Raider, just a handful of games that were in 3D. Most games were still in a 2D development cycle. So a lot of errors done in terms of concept design, which is like, hey, you're a designer, do you sketch me okay? Okay, you draw me well, okay, design this thing. Oh, you're the artist that do the tile, you draw me well, okay, you draw some of the creatures. And really, a lot of game companies who just create that way, and they make some great games that way as well. In terms of there wasn't an official position, it's just people draw, you drew me well, and you end up doing the design. And also back then, you don't publish your concept art. There was no internet to post anything to, and the quality of concept art didn't have to be that great because no one's seen this stuff, and the technologies wasn't even able to draw them out. I mean, in Wing Commander, we're looking at spaceship, no more than I think 200 to 300 polygons, if that for a spaceship. That nowadays, not like one teeth in a character. I think a character tongue in a video game now has probably 10,000 polygons. So we're talking about 250 polygons for entire spaceship. So no matter what you draw, it doesn't seem to get captured. You might be putting on a little air intake and fin and a little light, cockpit and stuff, and then ends up being 32 by 32 texture, blurry texture on a 200 polygon model. So nothing wrong with that, but it's just a need for very high level of concept art wasn't around. There wasn't photorealism or none of that kind of stuff. So getting in back then was very interesting, which is you really want to become a concept artist. Your job was just sit there, draw, design, and try to give the company as much as possible. No one know about what you did because I was the only concept artist in terms of Warren, and most don't even know what I did. What exactly are you doing? You don't do 3D, you don't do tile. Why did you get this nice office and draw stuff all day? So you really choose this career as something you love doing. But now, flash forward 20 years, concept art has become very mainstream, so many kids now want to get in, and that creates a situation in which you had the pro side, a professional doing really cool stuff, and they get a lot of younger kids who want to become them, but know very little about what concept art is, and a small percent of that is pursuing this job simply because it seems like easiest way in to work at their favorite game studio, not to draw concept art, but just to be part of the studio and play the games.